Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Maximize Ridwanullah Life family. I'm your host and life maximizer, Hussein Mahmoud, working to help you maximize every single area of your life in this dunya and in the akhirah by the grace, will, and for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I just wanted to quickly create a video just talking about the challenges of building a business around your passion, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. And, you know, to be able to build a business around your passion, you really have to become a creative, someone who thinks outside of the box, someone who creates original content, someone who thinks of something completely new, to be able to figure out a way to do something like that. And the challenge is, there's so many moving parts that all work together in one way or the other, and that's kind of what I've been having a real challenge trying to go through this journey. And it's extremely painful and extremely pleasurable, all within the same token. And everybody's unique in their own pursuit. Everybody has a different chapter in their life, and I've been listening to a couple of podcasts about the creative process and just, figuring out how to let your creative juice out for the most part. And one of the things that I've realized is as a creative, there's so many different passions that we have, especially as Muslim creatives. There's so many different passions that we have, and there's so much fear, limiting beliefs, and other inner conflicts that are holding us back from realizing this amazing goal and this amazing dream that we have. And one of the other things that I've realized is that, as Muslims, we have, different beliefs around videos and pictures and so many things that are holding us back from doing the things that we want to do for the most part. As long as they're valid, as long as they are things that help us grow as individuals and as an ummah, it's something that we have to respect the boundaries. But some of the things that I've realized is when I'm trying to get individuals to be interviewed on my show, majority of them, or a lot of the individuals that I encounter, are saying no because of their fear of, the public perception, or their fear of the videos and the photos and things like that. And for me, I'm still trying to learn and grow through this process, but I feel like using the videos and the mediums is a part of the journey that we all have to embrace, especially in the context of the reality that we find ourselves in, without letting go of our Islamic principles and identities, and staying within the boundaries, rules, and regulations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it's been a challenge. There's some things that I don't know, some things that I do know, some things that I want to learn about, and it's an ongoing journey. And I just wanted to share my thoughts with you guys. This is a creative outlet for me. Individuals are giving me constructive feedback on the things that I'm doing right, the things that I'm doing wrong. Majority of it is the things that I'm doing wrong and could be better at, the glass half full type of individuals. But, I still take that with and use that as constructive feedback. But I just wanted to reach out to those individuals who are, they either don't know this is the itch they have to scratch for themselves, or they have an idea that this is the area that they want to pursue, but just don't really know how in the first couple of steps. Some of the amazing ideas that I've gotten from, the podcast that I listen to is that, number one, it's more powerful to use your personal brand to be able to do your creative work and reach out to individuals in a creative way, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. And number two is that you should focus on your journey throughout all of these different passions and everything else, instead of focusing on each individual passion. So meaning, This channel is not going to be about my passion for speaking, my passion for coaching and consulting, my passion for business, my passion for my deen, my passion for my mindset. Rather, it is about my passion for these things. And, as these different passions grow, it'll be about my journey to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my journey to these different passions. So, these are raw thoughts and feelings. So I just wanted to share that with you so I, don't overthink things, and I'm actually out there creating stuff in this world. And maybe that's the connection, is the creativity, and being able to produce from that creativity and seeing what works and what doesn't. Business results is a lot more than just creativity. But the creativity definitely adds a lot of value, a lot of flavor, a lot of passion, a lot of purpose, a lot of fulfillment for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so long as it is within the boundaries, rules, and regulations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I do not see a lot of Muslim creatives that are out there doing it. Maybe, hopefully, this is an encouragement for those individuals who want their creative juices to have some sort of outlet, to use these mediums that are out there for free, and produce them in a way that is beneficial not only to ourselves and our ummah, but most importantly gets us closer to and the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a little frustrating to see the lack of Muslim creatives out there because of the fear around the video and pictures and all of these different mediums that we have. But I think, there's so many Islamic scholars who are doing videos and pictures. And maybe, the intention is what matters, or the reality of the situation. But in any case, we really have to be able to use these types of mediums to do positive things, to encourage individuals to focus on pleasing, gaining closeness to, and achieving the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which I believe is the ultimate aim in this life and in the hereafter. So hopefully I'll be able to connect with more Muslim creatives, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala, because I feel like they are the thought leaders, the individuals who work on producing different levels of value that are beyond our capacities, and still do, the things behind the scenes that are amazing. I've just had so much different levels of success that I cannot even fathom at this point. And, granted, a lot of failure within that same token. And, a lot of it was just trying to, define things. I'll just go with my gut within the boundaries, rules, and regulations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and just do what feels good for the most part, for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and let that define itself. Instead of me trying to define it and then doing it, I'd rather do it and then let it define itself, and then just keep going in that aspect. So I'll just be doing a couple of short videos here and there, long videos. The podcast is still in construction, under construction, the show. Getting a lot of positive feedback. I'm just trying out a lot of different things, the good and the bad, the failures. And, another thing that I wanted to let you guys know is your perception of me is not my reality. What I mean by that is I put a video out, just talking about the struggles that I'm having, not to complain to you guys, because I know I only need to complain to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but it is also to connect with my viewers, to let them know that, I'm just a human being. I go through these struggles and these successes, and, some individuals, rightfully so or sadly, think that moment defines my whole life. There's particular times in my life that I'll go through some challenges and I express it on my videos. And somebody, maybe a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months later, comes up to me and says, "Man, I'm really sorry about your situation. I know it's tough. We all go through hard stuff." And I'm like, okay. But, that's the same thing. Or I might be putting out a video where I'm so excited and so passionate and everything else. And somebody comes up to me like, "Wow, that amazing idea, that was dope." And I'm in just a slump in my life, and I'm like, man, I don't even want to hear about that. And that's just the kind of the roller coaster of life, really. So, That's just what I wanted to share with you guys, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. I'll be talking about the creative part of my life and the creative process. And within that same token, some of the successes and the failures that I've had. My speaking career is starting to pick up a little bit. Alhamdulillah. I just want to give you a complete conception of my part of my creativity and the things that I love and the things that I want to go into. First and foremost is media, right? The videos, the audios, the pictures, and how to be able to create something amazing with that. That's a huge passion of mine in my creative process. I love reading and writing books, and speaking engagement. That's a huge part of my creative process. Teaching and training, that's a huge part of my creative process. I love that. I always dream about creating videos online, and courses and trainings and different things like that. Another part of my creative process is coaching and consulting. I do, coaching and consulting whenever I have the opportunity, as I have clients coming up. And for this year, 1440, I'm only looking for 4 more coaching and consulting clients for the most part. Another part of my creative framework is, foundation, community service. I love giving back to the community to the best of my abilities within my capacity within a team. So that's a huge outlet for me, and I think that was a huge part of my beginning of my journey. Another part, there's a lot of pillars, and there's not more than 10, but another part of my creative process is retreats. I love quarterly retreats and doing those types of things for myself and the individuals that I work with. Another pillar of my creative process is conferences. I love conferences. I love going to different conferences. I love being a part of them. I love leading conferences and things like that. I learn and grow through them a lot. Another pillar of my creative process is store, which is just coming up with different products and services, whether different offers, whether they be physical or intangible products and or services, and just kind of building some different businesses and investments around that. And so that's the complete element of what I'm doing. And a lot of people come up to me and say, you're focused on too many different things and you're not really doing one thing. And I feel like a part of me is missing when I'm not doing all of these things. So that's kind of, my passion and my purpose and my dreams. And a huge part of it is my deen and mindset. I love health and fitness and so many different things. And I'm just going to be talking about the creative process, and some of them I make money through, some of them I don't. But in either case, one of some of the creatives that I follow talk about how you don't need to make money off of every creative process that you have. So that's some of the things that I'll be working through, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. My dream is to probably even create a Muslim Creatives Academy or university, where we go through these different processes and the journey that I've come through, and trying to keep it within the boundaries, rules, and regulations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, having no music consciously, not having things that are outside of the boundaries, rules, and regulations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I think that's one of the things that turned me off from a lot of the creatives that I see. They're just following the trends of the music and the this and then that, and not really respecting the boundaries, rules, and regulations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even in Salt Lake City, Utah, I see a lot of young Muslim creatives that are coming up, and they have music in their videos, and they're trying out different snacks, and they're like, I don't care if it's pork, or I'll make toba after. And I'm like, subhanallah, like, is that really how you're living your life? Is that really what fairly granted, they're fairly young in different areas, but if that's the mentality that they're growing up with, what kind of reality would they be living in the future? So we really have to focus on Muslim creativities, And I think that's, a general bucket of one thing that I'm really passionate about, and the reason why I want to interview individuals that are doing this type of work and that are going through this type of grind to earn a living, and just to live their life. Maybe, I don't know, like I said, it's going to be on my passion, purpose, and dreams, and creativity. Whether I'm going through this phase of just looking at the creativity in general, or looking at business, deen, family, wealth, and all these different elements that go along with that, the one common denominator is life. We're all trying to live a better quality of life and maximizing that. And we're going to continue to do that, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. So that's, that's going to be the topic of this title. We need more Muslim creatives in the world that are within the boundaries, rules, and regulations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And keep in mind, your perception of my reality might not be my reality. I'm going to do the best that I can, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. I'm in the background working on my podcast TV show. I wanted to break it down into entrepreneurs and investors and then the rest of the individuals. But what I realized that I'm focused on 4 individuals. The Islamic scholars and students of knowledge is number 1. Number 2 is the family leaders. Number 3 is the entrepreneurs and investors. And number 4 is the philanthropists. So I'm going to try to connect with those individuals who are doing that type of work in a creative way within our ummah, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. And that's what this channel is really going to be about. I have a personal channel as well as a professional channel. And as of right now, I'm kind of using both, but I really have to figure out which one I want to keep. Maybe I'll, balance between the two. Let me know what you guys think about all these things that I've mentioned. What do you guys like about it? What don't you like about it? And again, this is just the beginning of my journey. I'm still trying to figure out a lot of things. So stick with me throughout this journey, no matter what topic that I bring. I hope that you're benefiting from it, but you're not here for those topics. You're here for yourself and your journey and your growth. And I'm going to be talking about a lot of the things that I'm passionate about. That is my passion, purpose, and dreams. And it'll change like the weather. You might see the patterns, you might see the seasons. But in any case, we'll continue to move forward through this process, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. I really appreciate all the individuals who have liked this video, who are subscribing and pressing the notification bell to join our Ridwanullah family, and who are leaving these comments, and who are sharing with their family and friends, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. From the bottom of my heart, jazakumullahu khair. I'll be looking forward to doing more videos like this. It's hard to kind of capture the essence of the reality that I find myself in, and that I want to portray to other individuals. And that's kind of my nostalgic feel and my nostalgic reality. So I'm going to try to capture the essence and the reality of what I'm going through in every area. Maybe I'm going to do some vlogging, and so you can see the nervousness and when I'm going to speak. But again, just pushing through that nervousness and still delivering and speaking. And all these creative ideas. I'm working in the background on my book, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala, for the first time. I'm still fumbling through the title. I'm working on creating some sort of teaching and training online. I'm not sure how that's gonna go, but I'm just gonna be free and loose and just kind of go with the flow. And I hope that you stick through it, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. I just want to say jazakumullahu khair to the Muslim creatives that are out there who are doing their thing and still following my channel, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. Truly appreciate your support. Jazakumullahu khair for tuning in to another episode of Ridwanullah TV, your source and hub for Muslim creatives. And I hope to help you maximize your Ridwanullah life in this dunya and in the akhirah by the grace, will, and for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jazakumullahu khair. I'll be seeing you soon, inshallah. Never give up on maximizing every single area of your life in this dunya and in the akhirah by the grace, will, and for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.